everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Character. My name is jordan-paige. I'm the show creator and host. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today, I am really excited to have Carl Grasso on the show. He is a writer, he is a creator, he's an actor, and so without further ado, let's head to Zoom.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to have Carl here on the show today. How are you doing? How's your day been?
It's been okay, actually.
That's better than being bad. I love that.
It's better being on this side of the ground. As
yes.
A friend of mine would say. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited to have you on the show today and to ask you about, your creative work. And so we're going to start off with a game of 2 truths and a lie. So I'm going to attempt to guess which one the lie is, as well as the audience when they're watching this. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. So my 3 things are: I was mentioned in a 1988 book called Funny Bone, and it was about funny kids. Or I was a wrestler in a minor league and my wrestling name was Chuck the Truck. Or was I in the Madonna fan club in 1992?
Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't know which is which. I forgot myself.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that the second one's the lie.
Am I supposed to say anything, or?
Yeah, am I right or am I wrong?
You are right.
I'm right. Oh, yeah. Wow, that very rarely happens. So tell me about this Madonna fan club. That sounds so interesting.
Well, go back to the lie. It's kind of a half truth because I was supposed to play that character in a film, but my wife got ill, so I couldn't. I just because the guy's name is Chuck the Truck. That's just hilarious.
Nice.
It was around the time where the movie A League of Their Own came out.
Okay.
And it was actually a very wonderful movie if you haven't seen it. And it was on like HBO like over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I was sick a lot. Well, I was sick a lot as a kid to begin with. And so I would just like stay on the couch watching that. And Rosie O'Donnell made me laugh. And, the movie's a funny movie. It's actually a very thoughtful movie. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's something to check out. Gina Davis is in it. I think she was nominated for an Oscar, and Madonna had a hit song called excuse me for this one. I think This Used to Be My Playground. I think that was the hit song back then from that movie. So check it out.
Yeah, but I'm always looking for, movies and TV show recommendations are great. So that is awesome. So moving into our questions. So you told me that you have a short film called The Envelope that you wrote, directed, and starred in. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit about that experience. And what would you say was one of your most valuable takeaways from that experience?
Well, basically it was a challenge. It was one of those things where, maybe we should make a movie during quarantine, during COVID-19. And I'm like, that's insane. How? And then I kind of thought of, with all my horror movie knowledge and all movies from the past, like, well, what about movies where people weren't in the same shot? They were on a phone, or they were on, Star Trek, screen to screen type of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I could do it. So I proved to myself I can do it. And I could just make a film using different actors all over the country. And I did it.
Wow, that's awesome. I love especially all over the country. That is so cool.
Yep. From Minnesota to New Jersey to North Carolina to New York.
Wow. That is awesome. And just as you said, like being able to prove to yourself, especially in such a difficult time that the world was going through, of like, no, like I can do this, like, and you made it happen.
I did.
Which is awesome. Oh my gosh. So you also are on 2 different podcasts, which is also super epic. So what is it like doing podcasts, and how is that? What are some of the biggest differences from TV and film? I have no experience with podcasts basically. So I have no idea.
I fell into doing podcasts as a casting director for another company.
Okay.
And my own personal podcast, which is Audiophiles Radio, AUDIOPHILES, not files, not like X Files, came about where I wrote a show for this other company. They didn't want it. So I said, you know what, again, kind of like what I did with The Envelope, let me see if I can make a radio show. So it's like an old-fashioned radio play. That's why that I kind of don't think it's a podcast. It's more of a hero movie, action movie for your ears.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's what I wanted to do. and it took a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it it took a lot of love and patience from the amazing cast and editors and sound effects people. And I thank them profusely, and I love every second of it. And I'm glad that happened. The other podcast uh, I originally do, I was a guest on. Excuse me. It's called the Tragedy Academy podcast. It's hosted by Jay Hicks, and it's a show created to bridge societal divides in a judgment-free zone, using candor, and humor to bridge the divides between people who are obviously different. And we've got guests with past tragedies. We've had people who went through struggle, from a woman that I know who lost her daughter to epilepsy, to people who struggle with addiction and body dysmorphia, PTSD, illness. And I mean, it's an adult talk show, but it's just wonderful conversation. And each interview with these different people is amazing. So you're not going to get the same type of interview each time. Jay Hicks is amazing, and he's a great guy. Great guy.
That is awesome to hear. And I love that, you know, and I mean, the first one talking about, you know, it basically is a story, but through audio form. You know, it's up to you to visualize everything, but you're hearing everything. And then sounds like such great conversations from the second podcast. And I love that, hearing, you know, people's stories and inspirational and all of that can just be so incredible. And then, yeah, how is it super different to TV and film, since you've been on sets like that before? What do you find are some of the biggest differences?
Well, now basically with the pandemic, you can work from home, so it's easier. You can build your own studio. I kind of have my own little setup, where actually Jay Hicks kind of helped me with that a little bit. And I work at my own pace, and I do my own takes for whatever reading. I've done a few voiceovers. I did a voiceover in a short film where I play Glitch Trap, the evil rabbit, and it's a Five Nights of Freddy fan film. And I play the evil glitch trap. I'm a bad bunny, Jordan. I'm really bad. And I did that 4 times over. I think I did 4 different takes, 4 different voices. He blended all 4 together, and it is the best thing I've ever done voice wise. I just voiced something called the Malone Family, where I play the New Jersey Devil, and that was a challenge too. I had to sound like really gruffy from New Jersey. I'm from New York, so there actually is a slight difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is. I don't want to anger anybody from Jersey because they'll come get me. But it's fun. It's fun because you know, you can do a different performance and not worry about memorizing lines. Like when you're on a set that you obviously have to memorize lines unless there's cue cards, and I just don't like blowing scenes where I go up on a line, and it happens to everybody though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the worst is being obviously on stage, but I love, for me personally, I love being on a movie set. It's magic, as you probably know as well. Just hanging out and seeing like the lights, and hanging out with the sound guy, and hanging out with the script supervisor, and just seeing the magic just unfold in front of you. You know, you walking straight forward, but like in the scene, you're supposed to walk through a door, but it's going to be on the reverse shot that you walk through that door. I love that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it is amazing. And such a difference, as you said, from home. You can, you know, you don't have to memorize the lines. You can be in your pajamas if you want. You know, no one is looking at you and being like, oh, where's on set? It's what color is the wardrobe, making sure, you know, wardrobe changes, or if it's background, like we were talking about, you know, before we started the interview. Like, you bring so many options, and they could end up not having you use any of them and pulling from their own wardrobe. Like, I can imagine how different, you know, it is. The closest thing I have to a podcast is this, and so I could be in my pajamas if I want, but typically I'm not. You know,
I'm not wearing any pants, if that helps.
I'm in snowflake leggings, so you know, it's you know, fun. Whereas on a set, most likely that wouldn't fly.
Well,
yeah. So moving on to my wild card question. This has nothing to do with anything, totally random. But
I am wearing pants.
What is your most prized possession, and why?
Good question. My prized possession. Okay. I would have shown it to you. It's actually It's an old-fashioned carousel music box that I got from my grandmother, and it's over 100 years old. I think it still works too.
Wow.
It's behind glass. It's like one of those antique roadshow type of things. And my grandmother has passed just 20 something years ago, and it was something that always makes me think of her, and she was always inspiring me to push harder and do other things, and to always follow my dreams. So that's kind of a special thing to me as well. Something close that I actually got off of eBay. I don't know if you can see this. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
This is the Maltese Falcon.
Oh.
I keep as a reminder from the film that it's like the MacGuffin in the film where they try to find this thing. This thing is supposed to be worth a lot, and it reminds me of the point of follow your dreams, and no matter if it's something tangible or not, to always dream and to push forward. And I got that off of eBay. It's made of plastic, but it's something where if I'm upset or I'm stuck or I'm like, I'm done, I look at the Maltese Falcon and I go, well, that's what dreams are made of right there. That's like one of the second to last lines of the film.
That's awesome. I mean, that music box being over 100 years old, that is such an incredible thing. And then I love the inspiration of one of my first college assignments was taking a scene from the Maltese Falcon and having to adapt it from its book form to to a scene. And so when you said Maltese Falcon, I was like, wait a second. That is so cool. Okay, so moving on to our second game, which is called memory association. So the way memory association works is I've got my random word generator pulled up here on my phone, and once I get to a good word, because some of the words are terrible and they're just don't spark any memories at all, I'm going to say the word and we're both going to share the first memory that comes to our head when we hear that word, even if the memory ends up having nothing to do with the word. If it's the first thing you thought of, then great. So our word, this isn't too bad of a word. Our word is wander.
First thing that comes to my head, a song lyric. I'm the wanderer, yeah, the wanderer. I wander round, around, around, around. It reminds me of being in my dad's car listening to the oldie station back in I'm not gonna give you my age, but a long time ago.
Oh, that's my first one that I thought of was my parents and a whole bunch of other families used to book a cabin in Tennessee for New Year's every year. And typically it was up in every time it was up in the mountains, and it was this huge cabin because it was however many, families that were there with us. And one year I made the not so great decision a few of us were, me and like three of the other kids were walking down like one of the side paths like near it, and they decided to go back. But I was like, no, I want to explore it a little bit more. And I lost track of time, and I felt so bad because everyone was so worried and it was like 15 minutes later that I decided to turn around and just walk back up the path. But in that small amount of time, everyone was really panicked then, which rightfully so. And so even though I was having a great time while I was wandering about, I felt so bad afterwards. And I was like, I didn't even think, because of course I knew I was okay, but I was like, they didn't know that. They would have had, so that was one of those where it was fun in the moment. And then I was like, that was not a smart decision. So that's the first one that came to my head.
Now we have GPS trackers. We can find you immediately.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned in your vlog that writing is a huge passion of yours. So could you tell us a little bit about what drew you to writing in the first place?
It's the one place that you can create and control everything as a creator.
Very true.
Yes, later if you want to publish or submit it for a production or for a magazine, a publication, there are 1,000 editors that want to change things. My advice is you have to be your own editor, teacher, and critic. You have to go through so many drafts and edits yourself that when somebody wants to edit your stuff, you can have a good case to tell them that, no, this is my story. And this is what I want to have. Or you can have the edification to actually go, you know what? I want to collaborate, and I think I'll take some ideas from other people. I love that. I love being in control of my own little universe. Like Mythos on a Train, I went through 17 different drafts. This is my action hero podcast there, and each draft I had to go, nope, that's not going to work. It's audio, it's not video. Nope, this person's got to say this. Nope, we got to make a sound effect here. The audience isn't going to know that. I was very, very disciplined and hard on myself. And if I would have done this, I don't know, high school or something, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just, assumed everybody knows what I'm talking about. And you can't do that.
Yeah. I love that. As you said, like there's no limitations. There are no limitations when you are sitting down and you are writing yourself, which is so cool. It's like daunting at one area, because you're like, wow, all of the possibilities are open right now. So it's like scary at one point, but then it's also just totally freeing. When it's like, I can do whatever I want. I can make whatever world I want. And no one can tell you that doesn't make sense, unless if you're trying to put it in something that, but yeah. And in that initial stage, well, you can do anything.
There's so many paths you can go down. Do I want to take it down this path, or do I want to take it down that path? It's like years ago, there were things called choose your own adventure little storybooks.
Yes.
I have quite a few on my bookshelf, and sometimes I just take them out and I go, can I not die? This time, when I was younger, I'm like, I want to die the stupidest way, follow the snake into the lair, that kind of thing. And what's going to happen? But now it's like, now I'm wiser, and I'm like, I don't die when I do it, because I'm like, I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to jump off it. Why would I jump off a roof? No, I'm not doing that, because I'm a little bit older.
So I have a bad feeling about that decision. Yeah, we had one of my college assignments was to basically create a choose your own adventure through one of the, and I can't remember the program, right? Twine. That's what it's called. The program is called Twine. And I remember it being, it was like coding and like programming, very little, but I was like, ooh, I like the story aspect of this, but the technical side is a little intimidating. But it was a lot of fun and really cool to come out the other side and be like, wow, this is an actual thing that like could be, it's a short, like choose your own adventure game. So, just those the limitations don't exist when it comes to writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is so great. So could you give some advice to those that are watching? This can be any type of advice you want to give, career advice, life advice, whatever floats your boat.
All right, Jordan, this was the big one. I was thinking about this all day. What am I going to teach your audience if they haven't turned off or vomited from this interview already, which they could have, I'm sorry. But I came up with this, okay? And this is going to be hypocritical and counterproductive, but I deal with family members and friends who are addicted to social media and have problems with it. So here is my advice. No human being to survive needs social media. I use it, Jordan uses it to promote things, because it's like a big classified ad. We used to, where I was growing up, it's called a penny saver. You'd find in the newspaper to look up and say, oh, look, someone's selling a lawnmower. Okay, that's what you could use it for. I'm not getting political. I'm not doing that. But social media can poison you in the fact that you are like a gambler looking for that high of, oh, I need the next like, I need the next this, and that's bad. It's bad if you have an addictive personality. So what you do is just don't let it take over your life. Don't let the anxiety of social media destroy you, and don't let sadness stop you because of it. Okay, walk away, delete the app off your phone if you need, or come back, make a deal with yourself to check it 3 times a week. Twice a week, not 30 times an hour. Okay. If somebody is your real friend, okay, they will find a way to communicate with you other than liking that picture of that enchilada dinner that you posted, along with the several other pictures of the same enchilada dinner you posted over your entire social media career. So just be real with yourself. Put down the electronics. Go outside. Experience life.
Definitely. No, I love that. And it absolutely can be, I see people like around my age all the time that'll post about how they're taking a break because they've noticed that it affects their mental health or it affects them negatively. And I admire them for having that, having the self-awareness to go, okay, I can't do this. I haven't properly checked Instagram in a month and a half just because of how busy things have been. And so
Right.
in one case, it's like, okay, that's great. And then another case, I'm looking forward to catching up on my friends and what they've been doing that I may have missed. But yeah, absolutely. I think it's great advice to, realize that not everything is inside a screen,
It's for the original purpose of, let me show what the grandkids are doing, or I wonder what's Jordan went on vacation. Let me see her pic. Not that I gotta see Jordan's pictures, but it's just, oh, she went to Tennessee and she ran out from her parents. I gotta see what's the cabin look like, that kind of thing. But am I earning? Am I oh God, I gotta see those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to. It's hard because social media is woven into everything now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it used to be a .com you would go to on the website. Now it's like, well, Facebook has it, and you just go there, and then you could buy whatever. And it's an odd world. But then I've seen it evolve, whatever you want to say. But just you have to control yourself, or it could be a drug like alcohol or abuse substances kind of thing. I mean, it's just you have to be careful with it.
Yeah, knowing your own limitations and knowing what you can handle for sure. So going off, when things get tough, what pushes you to keep going?
Werner Herzog said, this is a German director, film director, and he said, everything I do comes from pain, never pleasure. And I have that somewhere written down. My pain of others pushes me through things, because I want to see the triumphs of people going through the pain, that they don't succumb to it, and they don't give into it, and they don't let it overtake them. One of my best friends is deaf, and I love her with every inch of my energy bar, if this was a video game. And she just got cochlear implants, and I was just so proud of her and happy for her that she has close to her hearing is close to restored. I mean, it's not perfect, but I mean, she's learning to deal with it. But I just got so happy for her because like she went through that struggle, and she's a wonderful person. And I look at that and I go, see, she got through something, and I could punch back all my anxiety and all my anger when the going gets tough, and just dust myself off and be myself and go, you know what? I'm not going to let that take over me. I'm going to go, and just like my friend, I'm going to overcome the struggle.
Yeah, feeling like the triumph is that much more rewarding going through the struggle, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
See, it's the most real human being thing you can do. Not, medicate yourself, not by also medicating yourself, air quotes, is also like, playing constant video games and, being on social media, watching TV, just ignoring your problems. And if that means you have to go to a therapist to talk to somebody, or if that means you have to reach out to a friend, if that means you have to take control, take a vacation to Tennessee, hopefully you don't wander off, do it. That's how you become human.
Yeah. Awesome. And then lastly, speaking of social media, even though we were just talking about it, where can people follow you and keep up with what you're doing?
Well, you can find me on social media. You can find me at Facebook. Oh, geez. I do sound like a hypocrite. Facebook at Audiophiles, AUDIOPHILES NC. Or you can go to any streaming service, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and you can actually type in Audiophiles, Mythos on a Train. That's MYTHOS on a Train. And you can go to that page I just listed. You could also go and see my short film, The Envelope. And please go to the TragedyAcademyPodcast.com to see what Jay Hicks is up to. and what we all are up to. And you can also follow his podcast with any streaming service. Same thing with mine, actually. We have the same, we go to the same service, actually. So please go to the Tragedy Academy podcast as well. Yeah, it's a podcast for everybody, if that helps.
Perfect. Well, that will all be in the description of this video, so everyone can go click on all of those links, check out both the podcast, check out the Facebook page, and see your short film as well. And that is all my questions. So thank you so much again for being on the show. It was great talking with you. This is amazing. You are a gust of fresh air in a very stuffy kind of world. Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to click stop on the recording and we are going to head out of Zoom.
Thank you all so much again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Happy 2022, by the way. Can't believe it's the new year. Very excited for what this year has in store. If you would like to follow Carl or I on any of our social medias, you can check out the links below in the description. You can also find a link on how to submit yourself for Breaking Character if you're a creative and you're interested in being on the show. Next week, I am super excited to have my friend Steph on the show. Now, Steph's last name, to be quite honest with you, I still am not entirely sure how to pronounce. I need to ask Steph, and so I am not going to butcher it on here, but I will have it figured out by next week's videos. So I'm very excited to have Steph on the show. So thank you all so much again for watching, and we will see you next Tuesday.